I was growing in a small city in Colombia, South America, and I was born in 1967. When I was a kid in the 70s, there was no computer, there was no iPad, there was no any kind of technology, and the first TV arrived to my home when I was 10 years old, and there was only one channel to enjoy the TV. After the school, when I arrived to my home, I used to go to the kitchen, maybe because no technology, and then I tried to look for some special adrenaline. So the kitchen was the place for me to play, not the place to cook, actually. Every year, when I have a holiday, at least 2 times a year, my mother used to send to us, to me and my brother, to my grandmother's house. What is in a small village where there was a big land with many animals as a cow, chicken, pigs, turkey. And with just 10, 12 years old, was a normal action that we can kill an animal by ourselves. Also, milking the cow is something we enjoy when we was a kid. Wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. and do it with our grandfather. That was a normal action. It was we didn't see anything wrong. Maybe because in the year 70, the industrialization of the food industry was not as strong and not unbalanced and what this is now. Why I say unbalanced? I say unbalanced because the food industry is heating now the planet, and there is no harmony because a food industry and the planet, they are fighting, and one of them is killing the another one. And there we go. Why? Because human industrialization, we don't have one of the basic actions human need to do every moment, what is breathe. Why? Because a human industrialization action that we have many places around the world that we cannot have a clean water. All the water is contaminated, and the air we cannot breathe. Plus, many people every year die because there is no clean water and because there is no fresh air. But don't worry, if you eat every day, you can help to change this. We start to listen something before, after passing, the big corporation is taking the decision to take the action for the global warming. But the governments and big corporations, they only see numbers, and government only see politics. So we forgot about what we can do. Individual action creates a big impact. Individual action can make a big change for the global warming. We no need to let all the decision to the corporation. We don't need to let the decision to the government. We can make the change from our plate. For our plate, we create the harmony, and in our plate, we create the change for the global warming. Now, I will show you some information. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but it's something when I saw create me a shock. And do you know the meat industry put more CO2 to the atmosphere than all the transportation system, as an airplane, ship, trains, trucks, and car? 17% of the total emission for all the transportation system together. What is the meat industry? Do you know to make 1 kg of meat, we need to spend 15,000 of a liter of water? Do you know to produce 1 beef burger, we need around 3,000 liters of water. There is something is totally unbalanced, and we can make the change in our food to do this one. There is another point. It's about the many cities in the world, not city with 300,000 people, city with 1 million people with a shortage of water now. Cape Town in South Africa, Chennai in India, Sao Paulo in Brazil, Cairo, Jakarta, Istanbul. There is more than 100 million people. They don't have water now. And one day, I was talking with one of my friends, and then I was recommended to him that we need to eat more vegetable and reduce our consumption of meat. And he said, Alvaro, you can imagine if 70,000 billion people start to eat vegetable, maybe there will not be enough land to cultivate all those vegetables. But then I was checking, and I was very surprised. The 70% of the total world agricultural production is going to feed animals, and 10% to produce biodiesel, and only 7% of the agricultural production is going to feed human. So there is something is unbalanced. And do you know the meat industry is killing more than 80 billion animals a year? There is something wrong. Do you know soy protein have more protein, soybean have more protein than any animal that we consume? Do you know 4 million people die every day because of obesity? Do you know 25,000 people die every day because there is no food? And 10,000 of these people, they are kids. 10,000 kids die every day because no food. But don't worry, if you are eating every day, you can help to change this. Here, we are not talking about how to distribute the meat in all the people. Here, we are talking about to reduce the meat consumption in our plate and increase our veggie and grains and fruit. And then we can start to create a harmony in our planet. A few years ago, Berlin University have one student was asking for a lunch without meat. And then one more student asked, and last October of 2021, all the 34 canteens in Berlin University in Germany, they are serving 68% of a vegan menu, 28% of vegetarian menu, and only 4% of all the consumption in the university in Germany, they are including meat and fish in their plate. There are few cities around the world, they start to create the week without meat. So every week, one day without meat. If every city around the world included one day without meat, we will create a big impact because we will save many CO2 we don't send to the atmosphere. A cow produces 4 times more CO2 than a car. 1 kg of meat produces 16 kg of CO2. And we spend 15,000 liters of water. So you can imagine how much we can reduce our impact in the atmosphere if we reduce the consumption of meat. The grains are full of protein. Soybean, red bean are good source of protein, and they have full of nutrients, free of hormones, free of antibiotics, and free of cruelty of animals. Veggie are plenty of antioxidants and enzymes. You invest time preparing your food. Invest time to choose your food, and your food will take care of you. Invest time, reduce the meat in your plate, and you will take care of the planet, and we will have less global warming. Thank you very much.